There's nothing wrong.
All right. My name is Haley Conklin, and today I'm going to be teaching comparing fractions with the same numerator. So this is as if I had already taught comparing fractions with the same denominator like yesterday in equivalent fractions already. So, and I have one student that's my volunteer, so maybe I won't be talking to myself. Maybe he can answer some questions. But in real life, I would be calling on more than just one person, obviously. So for engagement, well, before I started, I would do a number talk called Which One Doesn't Belong. And so on the PowerPoint, I would have like different fractions, and then they would talk about, oh, which one doesn't belong? Like, oh, this one has even number, this one would have odd number. It just gets them into fractions and gets them into the lesson. I didn't include this because it can be like 10-15 minutes long. And then, so now I'm going to start. So first, say you are sharing a pizza with 2 people. And then Christian is sharing a pizza with 8 people. Who's going to get more pizza?
I'll get more pizza.
Why are you going to get more pizza?
Because I split it with less people.
Because you split it with less people. Good job. So, if I stand on the side, am I cut off?
Probably not.
Ah. I hope you can see me. Okay, so comparing fractions with the same numerator. So when comparing fractions with the same numerator, you're going to compare the denominators. The smaller denominator is the larger fraction because it has bigger parts. So with the pizza, if you're sharing it with 3 people instead of 6 people, you're going to get more pizza because it's bigger parts. So now we're going to watch a brain pop. And the brain pop is over comparing fractions with the same numerator. It would just show examples on the brain pop. So I'm not going to show that. We're going to skip that. And we're going to go into our examples. So 1/2 and 1/3. Which fraction is bigger?
1/2.
1/2. So we can look at our shaded parts and see that 1/2 has more shaded. It has a bigger part, right? So whenever we're comparing the fractions, we're going to circle what is the same. So we see that the numerators are the same. So we're going to circle what is the same and then compare the denominators. So what do you notice?
They're flipped.
They're flipped, right? That 2 is smaller than 3, but the fraction is bigger, right? So in your head, you have to flip it. So let's try this one. 3/5 and 3/8. Which fraction do you think is bigger?
Well, they're the same on the top.
They're the same on the top, so we're going to circle what is the same.
And in the bottom, 5 is smaller.
And we see 5 is smaller, right? So what do we remember? That it's flipped, right? So how many do we shade in the first fraction?
3.
3. Stop right here. And how many do we shade in the second fraction?
3.
3. Now we can see visually which one is bigger.
I would say the first one.
The first one, right? So we see 3/5 is larger than or greater than 3/8. So let's do one more. Say we have it on the fraction, right? So first we're going to label, or we have it on the number line. We're going to label our number line. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So remember, when you label your number line, you put your denominator on the bottom. So denominator for this one's 4. What's our denominator for this one?
I think it should be 8.
8. So we're going to add 8. So which fraction are we looking at on our first number line?
Well, the numerator says 2.
So we're looking at
The second one.
2/4. And what about our second fraction?
We're looking at 2/8.
2/8. So looking at this, which fraction is larger?
I would say it would be the first one.
The first one, right? 2/4. So remember, we circle what's the same, and we compare the denominators, and we notice that it's flipped, right? So now, from here, the students, I would pass out their guided practice, and they'd be on the carpet and get their clipboards. So this is what we're gonna do for guided practice. I would show it on the projector, and sorry it's written. Usually it's not written, but it's hard to find examples with the same numerator. They're usually just mixed up. Okay. So everybody has their paper. So we're gonna shade the correct fraction of each shape. Then compare the fraction using the greater than or less than symbol. So 2/8 and 2/4. I would call on people to come up and shade it, but so we have 2/8 and then 2/4. Which one has the larger area shaded?
2/4.
2/4. Remember, circle what is the same, and then we're comparing the denominators. Now, what about 1/2 and 1/3? What do we do first?
First, we want to shade it.
Oh, well, we see that it's on a number line, right?
Then we want to label it.
We're gonna label our number line. Good job. 2. Alright, what do we do next?
Now we want to see which one's bigger.
So which one's bigger?
Well, we would have to circle them.
So doing 1/2 and 1/3.
1/2.
1/2. And we circle look the same, right? So then the last one, 3/4 and 3/3. So let me use a different color. So we circle what's the same, the numerators, and we compare the denominators. So then what are we gonna do?
This one's a rectangle, so we can shade it.
We're gonna shade it. How many are we shading?
3.
3. And how many shading for the next one?
3.
3. So which one has the larger area shaded?
3/3.
3/3. So why is this important to know in real life?
Fractions make up the real world in many ways.
That's true.
Like
Fractions like pizza, like
car colors in a parking lot.
car clothes in the parking lot. You know, they can have a lot of different answers. Okay, so then that's guided practice. And then for independent practice, everyone's gonna go back to their seats, table by table. And this would have already been passed out by the paper passers. And it has 20 questions. I didn't fill in all of them, I know. But they're going to work on this independently. And this is what I would also use for their grade for their assessment. So while they're working on that, I would be walking around, answering questions, making sure they're working. And then for extension, for the students that finish faster, they would either get on Dreambox, where they can work on like other math things and including fractions at their own level, or they'd get a worksheet that mixes equivalent fractions and comparing fractions with the same denominator and comparing fractions with the same numerator, and mix them all up, so then they have to like keep switching back. And for reteach, I would work with the students in small group using the fraction pieces, so then they can actually touch it and do it themselves. And closing, I would say class, today in math,
solved fractions.
We solved fractions. I would, keep calling on them until they said, like, comparing fractions with the same numerator. And that's it. So thank you for watching my video. I hope that you're staying safe, and I hope this video comes out good. Okay.